This video is about building a porch or a loading dock, as this is. And I have a ledge here. In a lot of my videos I like to show people why I did it a certain way. So I laid the blocks underneath, and this is the smooth finish, and I'm going to show you how I did it. We're forming the concrete here. We're putting this 3/4 inch board because that's going to be our lip. The reason we put a lip on here is because concrete always picks up and it expands and contracts. So this is going to hide that crack. That's why they always put a lip on concrete. So I get the board, I measure down where I want the concrete to be on this side. Just put a little nail there, and then I go to the other side of the board. I put a little nail there, and I got a 3/4 inch pitch here. So then when I put my board on, like this, it's already set. See, it's already set. Now all we got to do is screw it in. Now we formed our concrete, and the biggest thing I don't want happening is the concrete to stick to this. I see people lay blocks and they let the concrete go down the block. It's usually a big mistake, because what happens is when concrete bends and shifts and everything, it actually cracks the block underneath it. That's why we put a lip here. I'm going to put black paper over this so the concrete don't stick to this. Then I'm going to put my wire mesh in and then pour it. Here's an example right here, what I'm talking about, how the concrete will curl up and it'll take the blocks with it. You can see where my fingers is and how much I could go. That's how much that concrete curled up at the end. Now I laid my black paper inside the forms because I do not want the concrete sticking to the block below. My concrete poured. This is like a loading dock, and if you looked at my video how to do block work, the block work is underneath this. The problem with when you're doing a loading dock, you can't have a lot of pitch on it, but at the same time you can't have ice stay on it in the winter time. And like I told you, my preaching, concrete always bows up at the end. So I'm making absolutely sure I got a pitch going this way and I got a pitch going this way. We're about 40 minutes later, we're in the pour. I got my concrete level to where I want it. And I use my big bull float. That'll show me if there's any little holes. And then what I use is a swimming pool trowel. It's round, like this. And after that, I just real lightly go over the top, take any high edges down. Now it's about an hour and a half later. I'm checking my level. You can actually use your level. See how you do that? Sometimes when you're doing your concrete, you get a little hole like that. Just kind of scrape it up and you catch the cement on your trowel. And that fixes that. We're using an edger here. Edger does our steps real lightly. We just put it down. Slide it across the top. We don't want to sink it. We want it even with the concrete. This is where our steps are going to go. It's about 2 hours later, and we are going over it again. We're just smoothing it out. That's all we're doing. Because finishing concrete is a time thing. You got to wait until it gets a certain hardness, and then you gotta wait again, and as you go it gets smoother and smoother. That's what you want. Now about an hour later, we're going over it again. This is a 4,000 pound mix. When I was young, they used to call up the concrete company and they'd say, what do you want? They'd say either 1, 2, 3 mix or 1, 2, 4 mix. What that was 1 part cement, 2 parts sand, and 3 parts gravel. Now they do it in thousands of pounds. So when you 4,000 mix, 4,000 pound mix is a little heavier on the cement. Now this is our last coat. See, it's hard, and as it's hard, then that crawl over the top. That gives it a real shiny finish. That's our last coat. Anytime we pour concrete, smooth concrete, we put the forms down, no matter how much you vibrate it, no matter what you do, you're still going to get little potholes. What I do is I wet it first. This is the next day. And I mix myself up some Portland. See it? It's a paste. No sand in it. And just go over the top of it like that. And I fill those holes in. Just with pure Portland. And when I get them pretty good, I get myself a sponge float. This is a sponge float. And I just get in here and I rub it in like this. That hides all those sands.